Hey everyone, I hope you guys like the look I'm going to be showing you today. It's kind of a neutral look with a pop of a little bit of a turquoise color there in the corners, and the neatest thing about this look is I didn't use a single brush to do it. I actually used completely sponge tip applicators, and I got this great idea from one of my subscribers. They said, a lot of people don't have, a wide selection of brushes, or they're maybe just now building their makeup collection, so maybe try doing something fun just using sponge tip applicators. And so I kind of took that idea and went one step further with it, and I would like to challenge you guys to put together a video response showing a look you do only using sponge tip applicators. Of course, I'm not counting like your mascara wand, but like, whatever you do on your eye, don't use any brushes. It can be, easy, difficult, complicated, whatever you want to do. Or if you don't have YouTube and you don't post videos on here, if you just want to email me a picture of your finished look, I will start up a blog post on this, and I can kind of post people's different finished looks. So I think that might be fun. So you can email beautybroadcast@hotmail.com. I also have a link in my little box that's under my main video there that plays on my channel, so just email it there and we'll get this thing going. All right. Sponge tip applicator challenge. And if you're wondering about my lip gloss, it is, where is it? It is NYX round lip gloss, and the color is Soap Opera Queen. So a nice pretty pink shade there to top off our look. And to see how I did the eyes, keep watching. Alright guys, the first step is to apply a creamy colored base to your lids, and I'm going to use my Revlon cream shadow set here in Mystical Magics, and I'm going to be using this light blue shade here. So I'm just going to use my finger to apply that all over the lid. And what's the key to applying cream shadow? Yes, apply a very light layer. Don't go too heavy with it, or else you'll notice your staying power won't be very good. Another thing, I also put some Too Faced Shadow Insurance on underneath this, so that should help my cause here as well for making it last longer. So anyway, just blend out a very sheer layer of that, and then we're going to reach for our Coastal Scents 78 color palette. So that is the one that looks like this. It's got the blush at the bottom, the rectangular shadows, and then these. And the first color we're going to reach for is this one right here. It's actually kind of a vibrant looking turquoise shade. And we're going to, of course, use our sponge tip applicator. I'm just going to use the one that came with the set here to apply that all over our lid here. You can see the shadow really showing up. It's really clinging to that, the Revlon base we put on there. So I'm going right up to the crease with this. Just like so. And then the next thing we're going to do is use that very same sponge tip, but we're just going to use the opposite side there. I'm going to grab a shimmery sort of burgundy brown shade. It reminds me a little bit of MAC's Sketch. Where are we here? Other side. It's this shade right here. That is 3 down on the right hand side if you're trying to follow along here. And I'm just going to dip in with the tip of the sponge tip applicator there. And we're going to just apply this to the outer half of the lid. So you can see it's giving us a nice little overlap. It's like water and land are meeting here with the blue and the brown. And it's, it's different here. It's different doing that without a brush for me, but, I'm trying, this is kind of unnatural seeming, but then we're going to try to work in and get an outer V going here. So I'm just going to extend it out from the top. This is just what I would do with a brush. I'm just doing it with my sponge tip, and then up from the bottom. Out from the top, up from the bottom. And just kind of try to get that general shape going that I would normally do. This is a really, these little sponge tips that come with the Coastal Scents palettes are really stiff and not real soft, so I might dig around and find a softer one. If you've got quite a few different eyeshadow things, you'll find that they're a little different in every one of your little eyeshadow kits that you might have around. So anyway, I'm softly kind of getting that on there, little at a time, because you could go overboard with one of these things. So get it on there how I think I want it. And then I've got I have this little pack that I had gotten a while back from LA Colors, 6-piece sponge tips, and they have like a really fine tip at one end and a bulkier tip. So with that tip that's a little bit softer, if you find any that you have that are like that, those are good for blending out any rough edges. So we achieved that sort of softened up look we had on the other side with this. And also with that, I'm going to take this shade here that's right above the black rectangle. It's actually kind of a taupey brown shade, and I'm going to use that to also soften out the outer edge of that with that LA Colors kind of sponge tip. And don't use this as like you have to use this particular kind of sponge tip. The whole point of this is that they're all sort of alike and any will do. I'm just telling you why I switched mine out. I kind of looked through and found one that I thought would work for this. So anyway, just kind of blending around that. And then we're going to have to do a highlight shade. So instead of reaching for a brush, of course, I'm going to go back to this one that came with the palette that has a little bit of a wider tip to it. And I'm going to go up to this top shade in the very corner on the more orangey side. It's just kind of a light champagne shade pretty much. And I'm just going to apply that all over my lid here. All the way up to the top. And then for just an added little bit of shimmer, I'm going to take this very light pink shade. It's at the very top. It's one of the lightest shades in the palette. And go right under the brow bone. For liner, I'm going to be using my Femme Couture liquid eyeliner in brown. It's pretty much my favorite brown shade that I have. I don't have Revlon Colorstay in this, but this has been working great for me so far. So I'm just going to line from inner to outer corner here. Just starting in the inside and moving out. Then on the bottom, I'm going to be using my Revlon Colorstay automatic pencil liner in black brown. And for that, we're going to just kind of connect with our outer corner there. Just kind of flick it up to the outer corner so it sort of meshes with the liquid. And then we're going to go down to, let's see, about 3/4 of the way in. I just check and remember what I did on the other eye. And we're just keeping that light, as you can see. And then we're going to go back to our sponge tip. I'm using a really narrow side here to this, and I'm going to use that shade that I sort of compared to Max Sketch right here. It's kind of a brownish burgundy 3 down on the right side. And I'm going to dip into that and sort of use that to just go right over that. And it almost kind of gives it, see how it sort of hazes it out just a little bit. Hazes it out. I don't really know what what I truly mean by that, but that's okay. And then I'm going to use the other side and dip it into that blue, that pretty turquoise that we put all over the lid, and we're going to use that on the inner corner. And I'm going to look down into a mirror so I can see this a little better. So we've got that there. And then this turned out just a little bit more shimmery because I went over it with this lightish pink shade that's right up top here. Where are we? Right here. So I'm going to go over that just a little bit just to give it a little more shimmer. So... just a little added lightness right here in that tear duct area. And down below as well, right there in the corner. Alright guys, and there's your eyeshadow. For eyelashes, I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes with my e.l.f. eyelash curler. Then I'm going to use my CoverGirl Lash Blast Mascara. I'm going to apply just a little bit on the lower lashes and also a coat on the top to sort of prep them for the false lashes we're going to put on. So just a little bit. I like to use, if I'm going to do things on the bottom lash line, I've kind of learned through trial and error that this Lash Blast does a pretty good job of not smudging. Oops, I just hit myself. Did you guys see that mini emergency we're having here? Uh-oh! The camera's moving and everything. Bingo. Caught it in time. I'm glad you guys got to see that. I like how the camera shook too and everything. It was almost like we had a little earthquake or something. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, continuing with the mascara here. So if you compare the eyes right now, you can tell this eye definitely has the false lashes on. I really like this set. They're from e.l.f. It's the Natural Lash Kit. So they're only $1 on eyeslipsface.com, and I think they're just great. I trimmed mine down just a little bit, so they're basically covering from here to here. And that makes it just a little more manageable, I feel like, rather than getting it all right down into the corner of your eye. I kind of like that more, you know, more of the effect on the outer portion. So I'm going to go put those on. And hey, have you seen my false eyelash video? Because that will show you how to put them on. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, there is the finished look. A nice little sort of natural look with a splash of color using only sponge tip applicators. So I really hope you guys take the time to maybe mess around and see if you can just do a look, you know, whatever colors, whatever level of difficulty you want to do, and just try it out. It's kind of just a fun little challenge, and I hope you'll all participate. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.